Got a wedding coming up? Maybe a beach vacation with the girls? Or are you getting your legs out for a festival soon? Well, then you're going to need a head-to-toe plan for your body. Here's your 8-week strategy to go from dull to glowing. Now, if you're like me, the prospect of having to wear white shorts or tan sandals at very short notice sends me into a fear frenzy. However, like most things, if you lay a sound plan and do it in advance, doesn't have to be that way. So in today's video, I'm going to give you an 8-week structure to getting ready to bare your body, whatever the context, that you feel confident in whatever you plan on wearing, whether it's backless, frontless, or bottomless, as fashion tends to be right now. So given that we're exposing a little more flesh than perhaps we're used to, so let's go through it body part by body part, step by step. So we're starting at week 8. I'm going to make the assumption that your face is already taken care of. Now, when it comes to the skin being on show, it is so important that your neck and chest match your face. And it's often an area, the neck and the décolleté, where we actually neglect it, particularly in winter. So I want you to make sure that going forward, you are doing your skincare with this completely bare. So everything above the nipple, quite frankly. And you're going to want to put in a gentle but effective active-spaced routine. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the neck and the chest can get a little dull and frankly grey looking, hidden under sweaters and layers of cashmere and wool all winter. So we want to spruce them up, get the glow going, and target any specific problems like irregular pigmentation, which is terribly common on the décolleté. Now, of course, I'm going to recommend the fastest, most effective active to get all of these areas playing well with your face. And of course, that's going to be a gentle retinoid. Now, fear not, this is not something you need to avoid coming into summer. If anything, retinoids are photoprotective, meaning they actually increase your skin's ability to defend itself against pesky UV rays. And of course, you're going to be partnering that with regular sunscreen. So we want to go in gentle, hence that's a step we want to put in place nice and early. Now, to make it even easier, I want you to think about partnering your retinoid with niacinamide. It's simply the best combination because both of them will work on fine lines, pigmentation, and texture. They'll even help reduce the tendency to break out, which again is quite common on the chest. But importantly, the barrier boosting effects of your niacinamide will balance out any tendency for dryness with your retinoid. But as I said, we want to go low. It doesn't take much when it comes to actives to make a big difference to how your chest and neck will look. Be sure to buffer with moisturizer by applying that before your retinoid. Again, areas that are prone to dryness will love this technique. Flawless moisturizer is amazing for this. Now, if you're someone who's also got fine lines, typically in the horizontal plane on the neck, you might want to think of going even further. And currently the treatment du jour at the clinic is Profilo. Amazing for necks. I'm genuinely quite surprised by how effective this can be. So something to think about, particularly if you have a big event coming up. Maybe somebody in the family is getting married and you just want to look your best. So a treatment I can highly recommend for sprucing up the neck. So we're now at week 6 and it's time to take the back out. It may not have seen the light of day since last summer, but backlessness is a big feature for summer when it comes to tops and dresses. And frankly, I think it's one of the most sexy areas we can show off, but we want it to look the part. Now, blemishes can be such a problem on the upper part of the back, on the shoulders, where we have lots and lots of sebaceous glands. So now is the perfect time to take your upper back in hand. Now, I think the star ingredient for treating back knee is probably salicylic acid. And the great thing about the back is it's very tolerant. The skin there is very, very thick, so it can handle a bit of product. Now, you might want to start off with using a salicylic acid-based cleanser in the shower. Ideally leave it on the skin for a couple of minutes before rinsing to allow the active to penetrate into the pores. I love the CeraVe salicylic acid cleanser. I've mentioned this in lots of videos and it's super affordable too. Then you want to follow up with a leave-on product. And given that we're treating quite a large surface area with the back, you want something that's really spreadable. And you know, you need to get a little bit limber and work out how best to apply. But I find that you can even use the side of the hand almost like a windscreen wiper, and from the most part you can access the whole area over the shoulder blade, which tends to be where back knee occurs the most. Again, I love salicylic acid. Neutralizing gel is an amazing product to treat back knee. It's very spreadable, powerfully anti-inflammatory, and it helps with the pesky marks and clogged pores too, because it's combined with bakuchiol and azelaic acid. Alternatives include using benzoyl peroxide. Be a little bit careful though, because it does bleach clothing and it's a bit more drying, and it won't tend to help so much with the dark marks, but it's very effective if you suffer from lots and lots of inflammatory lesions. Now we're at week 4, and time to think about the hands. So often forgotten about, but of course they're the part of us that get exposed the most to UV rays and tend to give the game away when it comes to managing the signs of aging. They are definitely the bit that we neglect the most, and they're in and out of water, which means that anything you apply in the morning is often washed off by lunchtime. We want to use a similar approach to face, neck, and chest because we're targeting the same things. The signs of UV damage include skin thinning, loss of collagen, changes in pigmentation and texture, and we want to be careful we don't have many sebaceous glands in the backs of the hands. So a similar approach to that taken on the neck and chest is a good one. So your retinoid at night, feel free to apply a little bit on the backs of the hands. But what I think is really crucial is learning how to ensure that you are suitably sun protected all through the day. Now for me, that means reapplying an SPF that has moisturizing properties and is water resistant, and doing that pretty much every time you wash your hands, so you stay protected whatever you're doing. So let me be clear, backs of hands, SPF, every day, at least 3 times a day, if you want everything to match. Now, whilst we're at the 4-week mark, we haven't got long to go. We want to think about our legs. If you're wearing a mini, you're going to want to target any signs of strawberry leg. Now, this is very common. It's where there's like a little bit of inflammation around the hair follicle, and it creates this strawberry appearance. I've done a separate video on this if you want to go and immerse yourself. But essentially, we want to tackle it the way we tackle keratosis pilaris, to ensure that the follicles are smooth, allowing the hair to grow through nicely, and bringing an anti-inflammatory element into your skincare. So I love body therapy for this. I think it's hugely effective, creates a lovely improvement in skin texture, and started at 4 weeks out, you have a good chance of your legs being in fantastic condition for your big day. Now, it's 2 weeks. It's a good time to be thinking about self-tan if you're planning on using one. The last thing you want to do is to experiment days before a big date like a wedding and then work out that, oh, it's too dark. Now, if you're doing this yourself, I would highly recommend using a gradual self-tanner so that you can ensure that you can tweak it to your desired skin tone and there are no nasty surprises. It's buildable, and I think it's much less prone to error because you can blend in any areas over a couple of applications that perhaps aren't as perfectly applied as they should be. It's certainly the technique that has worked best for me. It's also about finding the format of self-tan that you like best. For me, a mousse is the most forgiving and the easiest to blend and spread, and I always use a mitt. And I always apply a bit of moisturizer to dryness prone areas like my knees and my heels. I hate it when fake tan collects around areas that are on show with a strappy sandal. So we're almost there. Now, feet, so important if you're a shoe lover like I am. Now, a great pedicure is always going to land you in a great place, but you'll want to be working on the condition of the skin on your feet. And I think there is nothing better than a powerful moisturizer under occlusion from taking you from Hobbit to Cinderella in one easy step. I like using a hand cream. I'll use Flawless Hand Therapy, apply generously, cling film, then socks for an hour, and wow, such a difference that makes. But you can use whatever occlusive based moisturizer you like. You could use Aquaphor, you could use Vaseline, you could use Weleda Skin Food. It doesn't really matter. Just whack it on under occlusion to transform your tootsies. Pedicures should be done by professionals, end of story. I don't think we should attempt to do those kind of things ourselves. We've got something big coming up, and you know, a gel pedicure is going to last you so much better when you're on holiday, for example, than anything attempted at home. So when in doubt, outsource. So when it comes to your hair, Everyone has the products that they gravitate towards. For me, Olaplex has been a total game changer. Now, I get a regular in-salon treatment when I get my color done, which sadly these days is every 3 to 4 weeks. I spend so much time at the hairdressers. However, at home, I will then top that up with the Olaplex mask, which I just find to be amazing for giving me that kind of deep, lustrous glow that photographs really well. And if you're going to be, you know, in front of a camera on your wedding day, for example, you want shiny hair. Now, let's make our products work hard. Hair masks work brilliantly under occlusion in heat. So I'll pop on my mask, and maybe one of those shower caps before I go in the sauna for just 5 minutes is all I'll allow myself with my redness in my skin. However, it makes such a difference to how a product works. You really do get maximum impact. So with all that careful and considered preparation, the big day arrives. You're going on vacation, you're getting married, whatever it might be, and you are ready. All you need to do today is moisturize, maybe a little enhancer, a little bit of kind of gold infusion or whatever it is to make the skin finish look amazing. But you can celebrate your head to toe glow because you worked hard for it. So those are the steps that I found helpful, and I've shared with patients over the years that they found helpful when it comes to getting summer ready. But maybe I've missed something. I'd be curious to know in the comments if there's something that you do to get summer ready that I've not covered. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this content today, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.